The first time I read this scripture, I was perplexed. I was a little bit confused because I thought, of course, anytime a man can encounter God, anytime a man can meet God at any junction. And I realized that there are portion times and seasons where God designed that it's easier for a man to be able to seek him and encounter him. It is very true. Many years ago, I heard a man speaking and he said the Lord told him that if you seek him in time, he's going to build his life. If you seek him late, he's going to repair his life. I thought it was a joke until I realized that so many people, because they have neglected this protocol and this order, it became a challenge, although now they are born again, for God to do much with them. I'm not saying God will not do, he will do certain things with them, but there are people that may not be able to go certain length with God because a season has passed them. And I studied and I realized that many times people always like to go the extreme because they say that the Adeboye encountered God when he was doing his masters. So you too felt you need to live a very carnal and wayward life. When you are doing masters of PhD, you now look for God. Well, the sad news is that most times, most of these extreme are not always, a plumb line for everybody to be able to plunge into. Of course, whether you like it or not, most times you may not be given the privilege that others have. But there is a principle laid down that when you subscribe to it, there is nothing the devil can do about it. And one of that principle is that a young man is expected to remember the Lord at his time, when his prime as such. Because at that moment is the time when it's much easier for you to pay the price to be able to know God and to encounter God. A time is going to come when the burdens of life have the ability to make you look upon God and feel, I will just make heaven alone. Whether you like it or not, as you advance in age, the tendency for you to be able to pursue God begin to decrease. It's normal. And this is the reason why many people that have not found their purpose on campus or peradventure in a society that was designed during their youthful age discover that they find it very hard to even charter the course of their life aright. One of the greatest attacks of a youthful man or a youthful lady, one of the greatest attacks upon the youth, of course I call it 21st century of distraction, is that most times the devil ensures that he takes their eyes away from their creator. Move around the street and see all kinds of people having pleasure, enjoying all kinds of things, and to them they believe that that is life. But life begins with God. And so long as a man has not made contact with his creator to be able to understand from the blueprint of the design what he ought to do, who he's supposed to be, his identity, there is no way that that man can make impact upon the face of the earth. And the greatest challenge there is that his life is going to be wasted. Many years ago, the Lord taught me about 4 challenges of a believer, which refer to as tragedy of a believer. Many of the challenges, but there are few that were more like a tragedy. And the number 1 tragedy there was that it's possible for a believer, to just think that his life is governed by himself, and one day he wake up and it's no longer existing. Death is the equalizer to every vagabond, every bastard, everyone that thinks he knows what he's doing. You see, everybody boasts now, but when death comes, everybody bow. Until a man has found, if you have not solved this, you'll be afraid every day. Every day you will live in fear, no matter how much you have in your bank account. There's a security that money does not bring. Money brings certain security when this is established. And to me, a young man has no business chasing money if he has not chased this. Because the money itself will confuse you more. And that is why I don't even believe that every believer should be taught finance except he's taught God. Because he'll be distracted. He will leave church to go look for that. I get to my point now. But when this one is established, he now has a purpose to be able to push in those finance to advance the cause of the gospel. Because that may be the reason why you'll be out of it. Remember the Lord thy God, because an evil day come, and that evil day is the day of tragedies, all kinds of tragedy, untold tragedy. If men that knew God, them themselves, the harbinger of death, took them, you that know nothing about God, what do you think is your security on the earth? What do you think? There are days I wake up. I don't know about you, but I know the devil don't like me. I know. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like my mother, like my father. He doesn't like anybody that knows me at all. If the devil has his will, he will kill all of us now, because all of you are his enemies. You are a great threat. But why is it that you are alive? Do you know you have passed through death several times? When we are coming, that journey was not too sweet. I mean, I saw kinds of accidents on the road, and I like, are you sure we won't turn back? Sometimes when you travel and you see accident, you will feel like, Kai, are you sure I will reach safely? But why do you see advance? Because of this. Because you know the evil day will come, it will bypass you, because you have already remembered your Creator. Everyone that you see today that is old and is confused, I say this without apology, it's simply because he has neglected this protocol. And now it looks as though God is trying to repair their lives, and peradventure God is successfully done with that project of repairing their life. They will end up only making heaven, and they can't even save another person, because there are many people that are not even sure of their salvation, not even talk about reaching out to another person. If you peradventure try to attach them to somebody else, they lose their salvation. If they don't lose their salvation, they lose their concentration, and at the tail end, of course, their life is not different from an unbeliever. And that is the reason why youth are primed with the responsibility to always remember their Creator, because the number one tragedy is death. It's an equalizer. And every day when the harbinger come, I live in a region where it's full of all kinds of darkness. All kinds of darkness. And I know how much warfare it takes for somebody to survive in my clan. You know, many of you in your tribe, there are so many people that are standard. But I know in my tribe, if you want to count great people that has my tribal lineage, there are not many in Nigeria. In fact, there are not many in the world. So I know that there is something, you know, that ensures that this thing remains as a status quo. Who are you to come and challenge it? So you find yourself repeating the patterns of your families, and you wonder, if you are not careful, you will do the same and become like them. And even they come and test everybody, and at any point in time you have not have a sufficient foundation in God, you become part of the tragedy. What is the guarantee that you will not die tomorrow? Do you know pastors more anointed than you died? Do you know people that give more died? A woman called me, she was shouting, Apostle, I do this, I do that, I do this. Why this? I realized there's something she's not telling me. You know, people will always tell you some things and not tell you other things. God is just. He may not be fair, but he's just. And the justice system of God will vet everything about you. The only reason why I'm sure that I may not die tomorrow is because when I look through the scale of the balance of the justice of God, I can't be found wanted. But many people, when they are numbered and they are away, something has the ability to lay hold of them. So every day their only security is to cry for mercy. And if they don't cry per day, they don't have the right to live that day.